Rain was still dripping from the brim of his helmet when he saw her, standing beside a dented old minivan under the flickering light of a lonely gas station. She looked exhausted, soaked, and terrified of something unseen. He almost passed her by, almost. But fate had other plans. Sealed in a folded piece of paper she slipped into his hand. What was written inside that note changed not just his life, but the hearts of every man in his biker club. Before we roll into this emotional ride, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Kindness Universe, and drop a comment if you believe one act of kindness can change the world. The thunder growled across the empty highway. Jake Iron Lawson revved his Harley under the open sky, his leather jacket soaked, his heart heavier than the clouds above. He wasn't running from something. He was running through it. He'd lost his brother 2 months ago. A crash during a night ride that shattered their club's spirit. Since then, Jake had been a shadow among men, avoiding meetings, avoiding people, avoiding himself. He pulled into a small gas station just outside Willow Creek, the kind of place that looked like it had been built by ghosts and kept alive by habit. The lights buzzed weakly, the vending machine wheezed. That's when he saw her. A woman in her 30s, holding a gas pump that had long stopped running, standing next to a minivan with 2 sleeping kids in the back seat. Her hair clung to her face, her clothes were damp, and her eyes, those eyes, carried stories no one had cared to hear. Jake nodded politely. She smiled nervously. He could tell she wasn't used to strangers, especially the kind that rolled in on loud engines with skull patches on their backs. "Pumps out," he said gruffly, pulling off his gloves. "Yeah," she replied softly, her voice trembling with fatigue. I don't have enough cash to fill it anyway." Jake looked at her hands. Rough from work, the nails chipped. Her shoes were old, soaked through. He didn't want to get involved. Not tonight. Not when he could barely keep his own soul from collapsing. But then one of the kids stirred in the van, coughing. The little boy pressed his hand to the fogged-up window, his face pale. Jake sighed, reached into his pocket, and handed her a 20. "Here, get what you need." Her eyes widened. "I can't. Don't make it weird. Just gas up." She hesitated, then whispered, "Thank you." He nodded, filled his own tank, and turned away. He'd done his good deed for the night. Time to ride out before the past caught up again. But then she called after him. "Wait!" She hurried over, clutching a crumpled napkin. Her hands shook as she pressed it into his gloved palm. "Please, just read it when you get where you're going." He frowned, confused, but took it anyway. By the time he looked up again, she was back in her van, pulling away into the night. Miles later, Jake stopped under a highway bridge to light a cigarette. The wind howled through the steel beams. He unfolded the napkin. The ink had smudged from her wet hands, but he could still read it. "To whoever this reaches, thank you for helping me tonight. You didn't know it, but I had nowhere left to go. My name is Sarah. I'm a single mom. My husband died 2 years ago in a construction accident. Since then, it's been just me and the kids. I lost my job last week. I was on my way to my sister's place, but we ran out of gas halfway there. I've been praying for a sign that we'd be okay. You were that sign. If you ever doubt that kindness matters, please know." Tonight it saved us. Jake stared at the note for a long time. The rain tapped softly on his helmet. His cigarette burned down to his fingers without him noticing. Something broke inside him, quietly, painfully, beautifully. He thought of his brother, of all the nights they'd ridden together talking about second chances, about helping the broken because they'd been broken too. He whispered into the dark, "You hear that, Jimmy? We still got work to do." Then he turned his bike around. By morning, Jake was back at that gas station. The attendant didn't know much, just that the woman had gone east toward Redfield. He asked if there were any shelters or motels nearby. There were 2. He rode to both. Nothing. He called his club. When the other end picked up, he heard the familiar growl of Diesel, the club's president and Jake's oldest friend. "Brother, where the hell you been?" "Diesel, listen. I need the crew." There was a pause. "You in trouble?" "No," Jake said quietly. "Someone else is." By noon, 8 roaring Harleys cut through the streets of Redfield, chrome glinting, engines thunderous. Locals turned their heads, assuming trouble was coming. But trouble wasn't what this brotherhood brought. It was compassion, wrapped in leather and road dust. They split up, searching every shelter, diner, and backroad motel. It wasn't easy. The world's full of people like Sarah, invisible until they break. Finally, one of them, Tex, found her van parked behind a rundown cafe on the edge of town. Jake's heart pounded as he approached. The van's window was fogged again, but this time from the inside warmth of two kids bundled in blankets. Sarah was sitting in the driver's seat, her head bowed in sleep. Jake knocked gently. Her eyes shot open, fear first, recognition second. You're the guy from the gas station. Yeah, he said softly, and these are my friends. She looked at the bikes, then back at him, her voice trembling. Did I do something wrong? Jake shook his head. No, ma'am. You did everything right. He handed her the note. This little piece of paper made a whole lot of grown men realize we ain't been doing enough good lately. She stared at him, confused. What do you mean? We're gonna help you get back on your feet, he said simply. Tears welled in her eyes. You don't even know me. Jake smiled faintly. You didn't know me either. But you helped me more than you'll ever know. Over the next few days, the biker club, known across the region as the Iron Saints, turned Sarah's life around in ways she couldn't imagine. Diesel called in a favor from a friend who owned a local repair shop. They fixed her van for free. Tex's wife worked at a diner and got Sarah a part-time job. Another member's wife babysat the kids while she worked shifts. The club even pooled their own cash to cover her rent for 3 months. Sarah tried to refuse. Jake wouldn't let her. This ain't charity, he said. It's brotherhood and sisterhood. It's what the world's supposed to look like. At night, the club would gather outside the cafe after her shift. Bikes lined up under the stars, kids laughing around the fire. Sarah would watch them and wonder if maybe, just maybe, there was still good left in people. One evening, Sarah finally asked Jake the question she'd been holding back. Why me? Jake looked into the fire, the flames reflecting in his tired eyes. 2 months ago, I lost my brother, he said. He was my best friend, my riding partner. After he passed, I stopped believing in anything. I stopped caring. But your note, it reminded me why we started this club in the first place. We used to call it the Iron Saints, not because we were perfect, but because we believed even the toughest men could carry a little light. He looked at her. You gave that light back. Sarah wiped her tears quietly. If this story has touched your heart, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Kindness Universe. Every share spreads another spark of compassion in the world. A year later, the cafe had a new sign out front. Sarah's Place, home-cooked meals and open hearts. The van was gone, replaced by a used pickup that Jake had secretly restored for her birthday. Her kids were doing well in school. Diesel and Tex often showed up at their games, cheering louder than anyone. Jake still rode often, sometimes far into the mountains, where he'd stop at a quiet cliff and talk to his brother under the open sky. I told you, Jimmy, he'd say, smiling. The road ain't just about the miles, it's about the people you meet on it. And somewhere out there, another weary traveler would stop at a gas station, meet a stranger, and carry on the chain of kindness that began with one single mother, one folded note, and one broken biker who found his way home. Kindness doesn't need grand gestures. Sometimes it's a $20 bill, a handwritten note, or a moment of courage in the middle of the rain. Because when compassion rides with us, the world becomes a little less lonely and a lot more beautiful. This is Kindness Universe, where real stories remind us that hope still lives, one act, one heart, one story at a time.